Hello, I'm TheZOMBIEJ, and I built this yesterday. Well, 3 Lego sets yesterday, so I can review them today. This is the Lego Nintendo Game Boy. The first, I think, handheld Lego console. And it's pretty freaking cool. So let's talk about this first. This is, well, a cartridge stand. Fairly simple in its design. And it holds these 2 extra lenticular screens for, well, one of them is for Zelda, the other one is for Super Mario Land. So that's pretty cool. This is the cartridge for Super Mario Land. Sticker, of course, and there's a ton of prints. And this is how it connects. Well, that. This is the back. Boring, but hey. I mean, this is about as accurate as you can get. So, it plugs right into this. Does, like, wobble back and forth a little bit, but hey, a nice little extra. And of course the Game Boy sits on this simple as fuck stand. Basically you have this chode plugging into basically the anus of the Game Boy, and it sits like that. Pretty cool. Lame, but cool. So let's talk about the Game Boy itself. I don't have a real Game Boy to compare this to size-wise or accuracy-wise, but I plan on getting one at some point so I can play Mortal Kombat 2 properly. So, this thing, however, a little hefty for a handheld console made by Lego. Also, these buttons tend to fall out a little bit like this. It's like, well, they're captive, as you can see. They're stuck in there, obviously, due to the design. But you know, they will. If you tip it like this, they will point out a little bit. So you have the volume switch on the side, and there's this external connection thing. On the other side, you have a little bit. I don't remember what that's supposed to be. Then you have the contrast. Doesn't do anything, obviously. None of the controls actually work since Lego wasn't able to do that. You're better off getting a real Game Boy. You got the D-pad, which is pretty cool. You got these buttons. I imagine these were custom made for this set, as well as this piece right here with this print. This corner bit. You got the start and select buttons, which are basically just tires in dark gray. You have the spot for the headphones. You got the battery tray back here, which it doesn't function, honestly. This is a big old slab of plastic with a big print on it. And obviously there's a cartridge in it. Zelda. Yes, the cartridge edition of the NES game. Or Super Nintendo game, I don't remember. So, and there's the cartridge port. Now, obviously, you see this thing. That is what holds in the lenticular screen. So, obviously, you know, you pull this back a bit, tip this out, and you slide it out, and it's just the Nintendo logo, which is pretty cool. And obviously, you load it into the thing like this, and then push up like that. Simple and effective. Now this is the power switch right here. It's in the on position because that's what it told me to do in the instructions, but you can easily put it in the off position. So, well, there you go. The prints are pretty much identical to a real Game Boy. I've seen real Game Boys. They look about right, I'd say. The only detractor to this is the amount of well, these crevices in between where the bricks and plates are. But they couldn't do anything about that, obviously. It's a Lego product. So, a little hefty for a thing like this. It's a big hunk of plastic, really. So, basically, you know, whenever I play these, or press the buttons and just kind of, you know, pretend I'm having fun with an actual Game Boy and just, it's pretty fun, you know. It's fun to just take off the shelf and just pretend you're playing with a Game Boy, but you're really better off getting an actual Game Boy and playing with that. Now, you gotta be careful about the LCD screen with the lines disappearing. And you have to find a Game Boy that works 100% out of the box. You're better off getting a brand new in the box Game Boy at that point. So, but those don't exist anymore as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, it's a nice little nod to the Nintendo Game Boy from, well, Nintendo. So, Nintendo are obviously getting a cut of the cash with this because it's a Nintendo product that Lego made a Lego version of. So Nintendo has to get a cut. It's their IP. Even though they don't make this specific device anymore, it's still pretty cool. And I really like this set. There were a few, exclusive parts to this, like this corner bit and these buttons and whatnot. But, and of course the lenticular screens and the stickers and the prints. But other than that, you know, these are all parts you can get elsewhere. I'm pretty sure you can get the D-pad somewhere else. But all the plates and whatnot, this is pretty much a surplus set, if you will. This is a collector's item, obviously. You know, it's a nod to the classic Game Boy device, and everyone is going to want one of these if you don't have them already. Overall, I do recommend this. I do recommend this to Nintendo Game Boy fans or Nintendo fans in general who want to build their own Game Boy without anything actually working, but you can press the buttons anyway. And really, this is just a collector's piece. You don't really want to play with it too much. I mean, if you do, you're just pressing buttons that don't do anything. Gives you a bit of nostalgia for a little bit. But, you know, pretty cool piece. I'm happy that my mother bought this for me. And, now I really want a real Game Boy. I have a Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color, but now I need to get the original Game Boy from 1990. So, there you go. I recommend this if you haven't gotten it already. So yeah, I will be back with another review, so stay tuned for more reviews. I am TheZOMBIEJ. I'll see you folks later. Have a good fucking day, and peace.